Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins. Time to set the old turducken aside and get ready for football as here we go on a Thanksgiving night. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line.
All right, now look at this.
A first carry for Leonard Fournette. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
They keep it with Fournette on first down. Spinning past him. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 16 yards that time on the pickup for the Jags and a first down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
And he's got this down to the 35. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Gone!
They go play action here on first down. He goes full extension, and he's got it. So even with the pass interference, it's a completed pass. They'll go ahead and just take the play instead.
How about the effort? Making the catch despite the pass interference. Nothing else to be gained on the play. No need to take the penalty. The play stands. 2
big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Lawletta, he'll look to throw. And this will be incomplete.
I know you felt like saying touchdown there, didn't you, partner? That looked like a sure 6 points, but the contact jarred it free.
Got his hands on it, could not hold on through the end of the play. They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal.
Lucky 56.
He'll get it up the middle, and they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. Lawletta on 3rd and goal. Hard throw, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And Lambeau will put this one through. And the Jaguars grab a 3-0 lead. So a nice opening drive on the road. You get the 3 points. Part of you wonders if that might hurt them later not getting into the end zone.
Well, the good thing is, still first quarter, and they didn't come out of it with points. In a sense, they could look at it positively and say, hey, we set the pace in this one. I think that's how they'll go about it.
Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off. Turn this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Play fake here on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Here's the first carry for Kenyon Drake. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. It was Taven Bryan who got him down defensively.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
Detroit! Detroit! Hurry up, here we go! Blue, landed! Blue, landed!
On third down, Rosen. Going up top. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. It put their defense in a really tough spot.
No, Jack, Patriot!
Fournette, a first down carry. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Here's Lauletta. And he'll get that to Fournette, complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
Now Lauletta on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
All right, here we go. Blue, landed! Blue, landed! Gone!
Lauletta again here on 2nd and 10. Buying time to his left. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it. Incomplete. Two incompletions haven't moved him any closer. And likely throwing again, you'd have to think on 3rd and goal here.
Now let's go! Blue, landed! Blue, landed!
And they'll throw again with Lauletta. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know, he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goals probably not what they were hoping for.
Man, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 2nd down, here's Rosen. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Michigan man, Jake Ryan. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Set. 3-19. 3-19. Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
Here's Lauletta after the interception. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Now, let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
On 2nd down, here's Fournette. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves them with 14 yards still to go on 3rd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Watch him now, Barney.
A 3rd field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down. This is 3rd and long. Here's Lauletta. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So now here come the Dolphins. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
They'll start the drive with Drake. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Now, let's go.
Now Rosen to throw on 2nd down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh, boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down.
Here we go now.
From the gun, it's Rosen. It's complete to Grant. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a 1st down. Took him 5 tries, but he is able to complete that first pass of the game.
And could you hear the exhale all the way up here? Not just from him, coaching staff, offensive line, receivers. Now he's off the schneid. Can they get him going in a nice groove where he becomes a little more consistent throwing the football?
Because you miss those first 2, but you get up the 0 for 4 range. That can be a little tricky, but able to settle in, hopefully.
Yeah, now you won't have any confidence issues. Now you can kind of get it back even with just one throw.
On play action, Rosen. He's going to loft one, deep left side. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. And he will bring this across midfield to the 49-yard line.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation. But sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Here's a give to Fournette. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Here's Lawletta now on 2nd. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Stevenson. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the... Lawletta looking for a first down throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. This quarterback now 6 of 10 in this first half. He's got his guys a first down here.
Detroit! Detroit!
A handoff to Fournette. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Detroit! Now let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90! Leopard! Leopard! Over!
Back to throw, Lawletta. And that is out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. Down this close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because second down, that gives me that option of running play action and maybe throwing it.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. He's going to get it running right. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are. Figure out the things that they really want to accomplish and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
And Lambeau will put this one through, and that will bump up the lead again to 12-0. So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. So it's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily that you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in the mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with it from the gun. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
On second down, Rosen. He goes underneath to Drake. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice gain.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. Again, this is Kelly. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Here we go now.
A pitch out to Drake. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Up from the secondary to make the tackle, Jalen Ramsey.
I like the call. Inside the red zone, running the toss. Why? They want to get to the edges. They want to see if guys who don't normally make a lot of tackles are willing to actually do that. That usually means the guy's in the cornerback position.
And they'll throw it with Rosen. He'll leave it for Kelly, complete. A solid pickup at 13. Set. Him up 1st and goal. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this. Football game.
Stand up in. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On first and goal, Drake. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down. It's second and goal, back to the 8-yard line now.
Lucky 56. Lucky 56. Set. Green 39. Green 39.
Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. And that one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football here. Nearly a 4th pick. And it's third down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter. A lot of time to change things.
Blue 90. Blue 90.
Third and goal, Rosen. Eluding the pressure right. He dumps it off to Drake. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Two minutes remain here after this. Jason Sanders now for the Miami field goal. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins are going to be forced to settle for 3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, Parker, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
So the lead is now dwindled to 9 as the kick here is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. Space to maneuver at the 40. And he'll finally be taken down just shy of midfield. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him, but don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
Well, they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure that no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
Yeah, nobody leaked. Big play. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Lauletta. His throw caught right around the 6. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. 23 yards on the play. A shotgun snap to Lauletta. His pass caught at the 4. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 3 yards is the gain that time. Second and goal.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
They'll try to punch it in with Fournette. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Jaguars add on to their lead. Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. On the return, it's Wendell Smallwood. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you've got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
Here's Rosen going for the deep ball. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
They begin with a run by Fournette. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Lucky 56.
A final shot before the break for Lauletta. Over the middle, hauled in by Sharp. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. So we've reached halftime here on a Thanksgiving night as we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Drake will start the drive on the ground. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Well, they had to run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10.
Set. Green 39. Green 39.
Now it's Rosen. He's going to air one out. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Gone.
On 3rd down, Rosen. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 32 that time. So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Rosen. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a 1st down again. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the 1st half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Throwing now, Rosen on 1st down. A dump off to Smallwood. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and it's a 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Now the former 4th-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Lucky 56. All right, here we go.
They'll look to throw on 1st down with Josh Rosen. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure.
And my goodness, another interception. A.J. Boye with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped.
No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And it'll be 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? 1st and goal. They'll run with Smallwood. And a Reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
To throw is Rosen. Rolling to his right. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
What a job by this defense all game long. They've come together and really said, no one's crossing our goal line, and they're definitely not going to start right now.
You can just see the dejection. Feel like nothing is working offensively. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Rosen. And this is going to be incomplete. The linebacker, Miles Jack, able to knock that one away.
Miles Jack can just flat out cover. Doesn't matter who's out there, and he can do it really well in man. How about what he just did there in zone, though? Eyes in the right place, saw where the ball was going, reacted appropriately, and knocked it away.
The kick by Sanders is good. And that will cut the lead down to 13. So not sure how they feel about that. They had golden field position to start the drive after the fumble recovery, but they went backward and then got 3.
Well, let's go from gold to silver, because the silver lining is they got the 3, right? You were talking about the golden field position. They didn't take advantage of it. That has to feel like a letdown.
You always stand ready to pounce. Always. This will be taken in at the 1. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take this and be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
He'll check this one off to Fournette. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll make it 2nd down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Leopard. Leopard. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
Now here's Lawletta. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Nick Perry in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Throwing on 3rd down, Lawletta. He's going to fire one deep, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick, and they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is 3rd down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
Gone, gone. All right, here we go.
And the drive starts with Rob Kelly. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
Here we go now.
Rosen off the play action. Trying to lay one up deep. And now here's another interception. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Bobby McCain here, the one who brings him down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. From the gun on 3rd down, Lauletta. He's got the hook up to Lee. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
Now Lauletta on 1st down. He'll get this over to Westbrook. It's complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Detroit!
They'll run it again with Fournette. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. 1 yard officially on the pickup, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 11.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
From the gun, here's Lauletta. Forced out to his left. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
What's the old adage, be quick but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
And the punter's on the sideline. Here's the field goal unit now to try an exceptionally long one. This to equal Matt Prater's record. It's a 64-yard attempt. So there you go, partner. How about that?
Oh, that was pretty cool.
That will tie the all-time record set by Matt Prater of the Broncos back in 2013.
And you know, when Prater hit from 64, that was like breaking DiMaggio's streak or breaking the 4-minute mile of Bannister. Tom Dempsey, 63, that was a legendary number. So to top that here, even if it just ties the record, pretty darn awesome.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. The intended receiver was Jakeem Grant. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, struggles continue. Open targets, and he keeps missing them, pressing way too much. He may have a big arm, but until he learns how to harness it and have some touch, he's going to continue to struggle.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Now let's go!
On 2nd down, Smallwood. Trying to turn the corner, but he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. They're losing here in the third quarter, maybe trying to get the ball outside, bust a big play. Obviously didn't work there.
Yeah, and while it didn't work, I really can't fault them for trying it. You and I have talked to the offensive coordinator, and we knew that was a place they wanted to try and go. And sometimes you just have to stick with it because 2-yard gains turn into 20-yard gains as the game goes along.
He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's out of bounds, but not before a big pickup that time on what's going to land up. So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 47. From the shotgun, it's Rosen. Able to get away. Breaks a tackle. He's going to launch this thing. Wait. And my goodness, another interception. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And he returns it up just shy of the 20 to the 19-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And a great move on the play as he takes this one past the 25. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
Leopard! Leopard! Gone! 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 Gone!
A handoff, Fournette running left. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Right back to him on 1st down. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The Jags picking up the 1st down there, a gain of 12. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the 1st half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Here's Lauletta. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Nick Perry in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. They'll run it now out of the gun. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! 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 Watch him now, Barney! Barney! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
This is 3rd and long. Here's Lauletta. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
And the Jaguars send out their punter. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something.
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
3rd down, it's Wendell Smallwood. And he'll be taken down for a loss back at the 3. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th. Well, look at the clock. You're down 2 scores. Have to go for this, don't you?
And they thought that as soon as they took over possession. It didn't matter where they were on the field. They were always going to be in 4-down territory. Backed up, in good situation, it didn't matter. So they've been preparing for that on their play sheet the entire time.
Here's Matt Hawk now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. And now out come the Jags. Now, the previous drive they punted, but that was just the first time they've had to do so in this game.
And when they turn on the game film, the coaches will rant about this, right? They'll say, oh, God, we got to move the ball, guys. We can't punt the ball away. But they have to keep smiles off their faces because that's the first time in the game they've had to do so. They've moved it quite well. They'll overall be happy with what they've seen.
Now Leonard Fournette. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. You know, I was going to ask you if maybe they should surprise and pass the ball, but where they're at on the field, I think keep it on the ground, right?
I like where you're going with this one because field position is going to determine these play calls. And backed up where they are, I don't even think about putting the ball in the air. I tell my running backs, grasp the football, and I tell my offensive line, don't allow any leaks so they get hit immediately when we hand it off. And this is an absolutely big 3rd down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Pastor, you said big 3rd down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here.
Gone! Over!
Out of the gun, Lauletta. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
And out come the Dolphins now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now Rosen on 1st down. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
Now Rosen looking to throw. Going deep. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. A.J. Boye with a pick, and he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. Now Fournette. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. A gain of 3, 2nd down. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Again, it's Fournette. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Catch number 44 on the year. It's a first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility.